Fox News Alert now. D.C. police giving an update on the shooting that happened at that funeral home in Northeast Washington, D.C. Police confirming 4 individuals, adult individuals, have been shot. One of those has now been pronounced dead, a male adult. The 3 others have been rushed to area hospitals. They have suffered serious injuries, non-life threatening. The gunman has not been identified and is on the run. Police are asking for any help in identifying the suspect. Not even clear yet if that suspect was driving or if that suspect was on foot. The police did just reveal in that press conference they believe the individuals shot were targeted, but they don't know why. What led them to believe that is that the funeral was happening and it was just being let out at 12:17 p.m. locally, and these individuals appeared to the police to have been targeted. That presser is happening right now. They're taking questions. Let's dip in and listen here.
People who do these types of crimes, I mean, they need to be ultimately held accountable for their actions. And, we need to do to work hard in order to get us there. It's unfortunate that someone would be so brazen to do such an act, let alone at a funeral. I mean, how low can you be of a human being to target other people at a funeral? My goal is to make sure that we're doing everything that we can to track the person or persons responsible down, and we're asking for the community's help in that space.
I understand there was another shooting on F Street Southeast. Can you tell us anything about that and what you guys are looking at a connection?
So right now, very preliminarily, it doesn't appear to be a connection to that shooting, but we're unsure. This is very early in the investigation. It's not too far away from here. We have officers there on that scene. We have detectives there on that scene trying to get to the bottom of what happened there. Right now, it doesn't appear to be related. But again, if there's information in the community that people are willing to share with us that lets us know that it is connected or is not connected, or who the suspect is in that shooting, that would be very helpful information.
Was this family fearful of violence at this funeral?
I don't know that they were specifically fearful of violence, but obviously their loved one died as a result of gun violence. So I think it's prudent to that there could be some reasonable fear there for anyone. You don't know who killed your loved one. People have concerns about that kind of thing. And again, like I said, it's not anything out of the ordinary. Our victim services, who oftentimes work with families, families will request that. Sometimes they'll say, we don't want any police near the funeral. We just want to kind of be able to grieve. Unfortunately, in this case, someone decided to disrespect this family at this level and commit this senseless act of violence at the Skid's funeral.
So was your officer here at the request of the family?
Say it again?
Was your officer here at the request of the family?
Yes. So there was a request by the family through our victim services branch for additional police presence at the funeral. Like I said, the funeral was over at this point. The funeral ended around 12, so this is about 17, 18 minutes after the funeral was over when the shooting occurred. And your question, sir?
Can you tell us the weapon that was used?
No, it's too early. I can't tell you the type of weapon that was used. Any other questions?
Do you know how many shots were fired?
I don't know how many shots. Last question? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yep.
I think he's...
All right, so the police there revealing and reiterating that they believe this was a targeted attack and revealing a few more details about the funeral that had just been let out, at which these 4 people were shot, one of them killed. The loved one that they were there honoring at the funeral home was one that died from gun violence, and they were fearful to the point that something could happen, that they asked for additional police presence there. But still, a gunman was able to carry this out. On the street there, vague details still about where exactly this happened around that funeral home, but the suspect is on the run and has not been identified by police. So they are asking the community and any witnesses for help in identifying who this was and why they did it.
Yeah, Sandra, interesting, police pointing out there that the family did request an additional police presence to be there at that funeral. They said the funeral ended at about noon, 12 o'clock, and the shooting happened after the funeral, about 12:17. Police saying that whoever carried out this shooting very obviously disrespected the family. As you just mentioned, they were burying a loved one who had just died to gun violence. So you've got a funeral for somebody who had been shot and killed at that funeral where more police have been requested. 4 people shot, 1 person dead so far, several others hospitalized with gunshot wounds, though we're told they are not life-threatening. Now the search is on for who did this. We initially reported that there was an initial report about a green vehicle being seen leaving the scene. D.C. police were asked, was this a drive-by shooting? They say they don't know. They're asking for any community members to come forward with any information, any witnesses who might have seen something. Obviously, at a funeral, you're going to have dozens of people there and gathered in one single place, so it's likely people saw something. That's how they have that initial suspect vehicle description. But clearly, Sandra, this family obviously had some concerns going into this funeral if they wanted additional officers there.
All right, we'll continue to monitor the situation there, bring you updates as we get them, as the police hunt for that suspect in that killing, and those who have been injured, 3 rushed to the hospital. We'll continue to monitor that situation.